The science victory in Civilization 6 is one of the most fun victory conditions you can achieve, and in this video series, I'm going to show you how to do it. If we take a look at the science victory screen in-game, you will see that there are 5 different steps we need to complete to achieve a science victory. Those 5 steps to achieve our science victory all happen in the technology tree, and they start with rocketry here at the atomic era, and then they move through the information era and the future era, and finally the exoplanet expedition. The final step will be here in these unrevealed tiles. What this means for us is we need to find a way to get through this technology tree quickly. We cannot even start on a science victory until we get to rocketry, which is, 3/4 of the way down. So we're going to have to do this fairly quickly and at least faster than the AI. So there are 2 strategies we are going to use to get through the tech tree. The first way we are going to zoom through that tech tree is pretty obvious, but we are going to max out this science per turn number. Depending on what our empire is doing, every turn we are going to accumulate an amount of science, whether that's 10, 100, 1,000, it doesn't matter. That science will be applied at the end of the turn. That will be applied to the cost of these technologies. So if pottery costs 25 science, and we have 25 science per turn, that'll take 1 turn to get pottery. If we have 5 science per turn, it'll take 5 turns to get pottery, so on and so forth. They start pretty cheap here, but they get pretty expensive, right? We're going from 25 science for pottery to 2,220 science for satellites. And we have a lot of techs we got to get through, so we want to have a high science number to make these as cheap as possible. As a sub-function of this, we are going to try and accumulate as many of these boosts as possible. Each kind of technology here comes with a boost function. To boost writing, we need to meet another civilization. To boost masonry, we need to build a quarry. Now, we will not be able to get all the boosts or even anywhere close to all of them, but there are a few key ones that I'll talk about in the game that we are going to want to get. Getting these boosts will take 40% off the cost of the science, right? So 40% fewer science points needing to be dedicated to unlock a technology obviously makes it 40% faster to move through the tech tree. So as much as we can, we will be accumulating these boosts throughout the game. Our second little bit of strategy is actually going to come in the culture tree. If you watched our culture playthrough, how to win a culture victory, you will know the 2 yields I was focused on were high culture and high faith, and they were both kind of directly related to the victory. In a roundabout way, some of the fastest science victories happen when you have a high amount of culture first. So many of the policy cards you are going to unlock as you go through the civics tree here will be applicable to gaining a high amount of science. So you cannot achieve a science victory quickly without also having a high amount of culture. Without going through every little bit of strategy, basically what's happening is we are trying to acquire new governments. New governments will allow us to use more policy cards. More policy cards will allow us to get more yields. If we go to recorded history here, after we build 2 campuses, we are going to get plus 100% campus district adjacency bonuses. Getting here quickly means we can have more science quickly, and so we're going to want to do that. If we go through all the way to the end of the game here, there's going to be a policy card that's going to be amazing. It's going to be under social media here, or globalization. It's going to be plus 5% science per city-state you are the suzerain of. There are more than just those 2 science cards, but I hope I'm getting the point across that we are going to want to go through the civics tree quickly as well to get our governments and our policy cards that will help us kind of circle back and achieve that high science number. Now let's talk about the game setup a little bit here. I have not used any mods that affect the game at all, so no better balanced start, no nothing. I've also not assigned any city-states or wonders. We're just going to roll with what we get here. Same with the other civs. I want this to be representative of a game you are going to play. So for this reason, it is also on Prince difficulty. I normally play on Deity difficulty. We've actually recently discovered a mod that makes Deity difficulty harder for us to play on, which is awesome. It's been really challenging. But what I don't want to do is show you a game in a tutorial that is not anything like a game you are going to play. So we're going to do Prince difficulty so I can go over some strategies that will be applicable in your games if you're not playing on Deity. The good news though is if you are playing on Deity, everything I do here will still be applicable. You'll just need to fine tune it a little bit for a higher difficulty. The only changes I've made to the map itself are I put abundant resources on because I like abundant resources. I also put a new world map age on, which I recommend you do in all your Civ games. New world age is going to add more hills to the map. This is going to be important for our abilities, which we'll talk about in a second, but it's also just better as a new player to have more production on the map. More hills gives you more tiles you can put mines on, which gives you more production. So if you're struggling with Civ, struggling to enjoy it, struggling to get the production you need to finish out a game, I recommend a new world age map all the time. Now let's talk about Korea. Seonduk is going to be our civ for this game. Like the culture victory, I wanted to find a civ that was good at a science victory. I want to show you what that is like, but I also wanted to find a civ that is easy to use for new or novice players. As we listen to this beautiful music, let's go over why I thought Korea was a great pick for this game, all while going over the caveat that there are lots of civs you could do the science victory with, so pick your poison. I'm just going to use Korea. Governors established in a city provide plus 3% science and culture for each promotion they have earned. This is pretty simple. We're going to put governors in cities, we're going to give them promotions, and that's just going to passively give us more science and culture. This is a very good ability, but it's also a very easy to use ability. So we're not having to sacrifice, how good the civ is for how easy it is to play, which makes a Seonduk great for newer players. If we put mines and farms next to our Seowons, which we'll talk about in a moment, we will get extra science and extra food, which is really nice. Again, this is something you are doing anyway. You might even not realize you are putting farms and mines down next to Seowons, but you will be doing it and you'll be getting these yields anyway, so that's perfect. The Hwacha is a field cannon replacement. This is really helpful for kind of new or novice players. It is a wonderful mid-game ranged unit. If you are struggling to find space or you need to expand the map or maybe you just want to kill the other civs, on Prince difficulty, these Hwachas are going to murder anybody, especially because we're going to get there quickly with our high science numbers. And finally, the Seowon, a district unique to Korea for scientific endeavors. Hey, that's what we're doing. Replaces the campus district. It is a +4 adjacency. Now, typically a +3 adjacency is considered good, quote unquote, which I agree with, but getting a +4 for every campus is incredible. You lose 1 science for every adjacent district tile, including the city center. So we want to keep this thing away from our city center and away from other districts. So we're going to do a bit of districting to make sure we do that. And it must be built on hills, which is why I think a new World Age map is also great for Korea. I'm locked in. We are going to start this game by settling our first city, the most exciting part of a game of Civilization 6. There is one final caveat I want to go over before we start, and that is that I am showing you one way to win a science victory with one civilization. There are so many ways to approach this. There are so many different civs you can use, map types, game settings, etc. This is meant to give a new or novice player one thing that they can follow to achieve the victory for the first time, so they can build on that foundation they've now acquired. This isn't meant to go over every single way you can possibly achieve a science victory. So, with that being said, if you have other things that you like to do to achieve your science victories, leave them in the comments below so some newer novice players might be able to pick up some tips. You can also play this exact save file is in our Discord server. You can download it there. I'll try and make sure that link is in the description or popping up on screen. So if you want to learn how to play this game and then play it yourself, you can play this exact one. But we are going to move on to this flatland tile so we can settle on turn 1 and work this 2-2-3 Cocoa tile here. It's going to be glorious. It's going to be amazing. So let's settle our capital city and kick off our science victory. Now, I didn't get into any kind of civ tutorials or anything to make any money, but there are a certain amount of people who make this channel financially viable that are paying for all these beautiful upgrades we've got recently. I got new key lights. I got a new standing desk. Our new PC arrives in 2 days from when I record this, so I want to recognize those people. And right now we have some new channel members since I last recorded. David and Carolyn are one of our newest channel members, so let's rename the city after them in appreciation. I played around with a few different names. I'm going to go with D and C for this one. We'll see if I can be more creative with our second city, but let's get a scouting. It is always a good habit to build some scouts early on. We are looking for 2 things on the map. We are looking for tribal villages or goody huts to give us bonuses. We are looking for city-states so that we can get their first meet envoy bonus as well. And then if we find any barbarians, we will take care of them with our warrior. We have the outlines of our city-state here. It looks like a faith-based city-state. I'm hoping we have a few science ones on the map because some science boosts would be nice. But we're going to go in here and grab Jerusalem, and that should be our first. Yeah, we get a bonus for that. We have the first one to meet them, so we get an envoy, giving us +1 faith in the capital. This is also probably a good time to mention no game modes. I've turned them all off. Game modes are just confusing for people who already don't know how to win the victory conditions, so we're leaving the game modes off for today. For the sake of building good habits, I'm going to build 2 scouts here. I should be able to deal with barbarians with 2 scouts and a warrior, so that should be perfect. And wouldn't you know, a barb camp spawned right next to my warrior. Sucks to be them. When I scout, I am going to scout kind of in circles around my empire. I want as much information as possible to make some good city settling decisions in the future. So I want to make sure with the scouts, I'm getting a good coverage on all sides. Our first goodie hut is in. A relic would be the best bonus. I'll take a builder. I'll take another scout. I'll take some gold, maybe some faith. Who knows? Or we get the military tradition boost, which is the worst possible thing that could have happened. So unfortunate. I think I figured out something pretty clever here. I'm going to want the Oracle, which will come soon, so we'll talk about it then. Mausoleum is pretty critical for a science victory because it will give our great engineers more great engineer charges, which is wonderful for securing some of the late game science business. So these two wonders I know I'm going to want to get. So this is just temporary planning for now, but I'm finding a way to make some good theater scores out of this whole thing. Since we have an open tile for the Seowon, we don't need to chop. I'll go straight for the Seowon. We should get this boosted by meeting another Civ. And then we'll go mining into bronze working so I can chop out some of these tiles for the Oracle here. 2 scouts complete. It is time for a settler. I don't need this city right away. It's just some forward planning for a little bit later. Theater scores are a little bit later into the game than campuses. So I suspect we'll come up to the city here to settle. This city here is giving me good damn aqueduct industrial zone vibes. We're going to want a lot of industrial zones, so we'll play it by ear, but this seems like something that might work for us. We've discovered Brussels. If we can be the suzerain of Brussels, which is going to be hard because we didn't meet them first. Someone else met them, so there's someone hanging out over here. The Suz of Brussels gets to build wonders 15% more quickly, which you can see on the map here. That might be helpful for us. I won't be able to show you every government policy selection, but just know that the best way to use policy cards is typically to put cards in that are going to help you achieve something you are doing right now. So right now we are fighting barbarians. That'll be great. Right now we are trying to get a Pantheon, which takes faith. That'll be great. Once we have the Pantheon, then production will be better, etc., etc. So anything that will help you achieve the thing you're trying to do now is typically a good idea. There is the civilization we are looking for, Ludwig of Germany. Now that's a little bit scary. It adds to my kind of settling math here. I do want to block him off a little bit. I don't want to give him free reign of this area next to us. We'll see what's over here, but now it might be worth me heading in this direction here, or maybe somewhere up here, just to block him off and secure this space for myself. We've met 4 city-states, and none of them are science-based city-states. This is quite unfortunate. Brussels is our best bet to be helpful, but we're hoping for a science-based city-state. This will also help with anyone who says in the comments, like, oh, I bet you he picked the city-states and just lied. Nah, dude, I promise. I'm just letting it roll, baby. Seowons are unlocked, so we are going to place them down the second we can after we get this settler. I'm going to have to spend this gold on the tile because we're not growing into it. That's okay, though. I'm going to acquire a little more gold by clearing these barb camps, which is awesome. So it's the first one done. We got one over here, which Samarkand might take care of. We also have one over here that I'm tempted to leave a little bit open because then it'll force Munich to take care of it. But for now, we'll grab this goodie hut, heal up a little bit, and clear the rest of these barbs. Those were the 2 worst goodie huts I've ever experienced in my life. We got experience on this one. Like, my goodness. What have I done? What have I done to the gods of tribal villages? What sins have I committed? All right, I'm feeling my creative juices flowing again here. We can get this random city here. Gives us another theater square next to an oracle and an entertainment complex, which is awesome. Blocks off Munich a little bit. It's not the best settle on this lake, but we might be able to get a Huey later as well, which would be great. Anyways, what it does is it puts the Seowon kind of out in the middle of nowhere. I can combine that with a city over here that can put their Seowon in the middle of nowhere and get a bunch of farms and mines around both of these Seowons, which I think might be the best play. In any case, I'm definitely coming up here and blocking him off because I don't want him to get a foothold anywhere near me. I want more culture, so we're going to go for a monument as we look towards... Oh, that's a lie. We're going to put our Seowon down. You silly goose, VB. What are you even talking about? We want that Seowon right away. That'll be an extra 4 science per turn, and we'll be glad for it. And it's only 4 turns, so we're going to get that era score and that science pretty darn quickly, which is wonderful. If you ever see religious settlements here, that is the one you want to go for. I'm a little bit surprised, actually, that with the extra faith early on from Jerusalem, that we weren't the first Pantheon get here, but let's see what might be good for us instead. In a science victory, I always really love getting God of Craftsmen, +1 production and +1 faith from improved strategic resources. In a science victory, you're going to be building over every single strategic resource. However, just because it's fun to do something a little bit different and to show something else off, we are going to use Monument to the Gods, plus 15% production towards ancient and classical era wonders. We will be building an oracle, we'll be building a mausoleum, there may be a few other ones we want to build, so just for funsies, we'll go Monument to the Gods. The first Seowon is down. That is going to be +4 science every single turn, which is so good for us. So we're going to grab that. I do really want this monument, but I think, oh, it's so close. Do I want that third settler? I think I might want this third settler pretty quickly, so we'll try and go for that. If you weren't already aware, settling on top of a luxury resource will add that resource to your empire as if you put a plantation or whatever else on top of it. So when we settle right here, it is going to give us that, and we are able to trade it if you come up here and you want to trade it. That's not enough gold for me to consider it yet, but it's immediately part of your empire. We got 2 more recent channel member additions, though, that we got to shout out. So this city is going out to push out the Jive, which I'm actually going to change back. What am I talking about? The Jive Hive. Like, I'm such an idiot. That's way better. I'm going to try and pick off a settler with my scout. I might, if we're ahead in science, he's not going to have the technology to destroy us. I might try and surprise war steal a settler just for fun. I want to avoid revealing iron until we place this theater square down. There might be iron on this tile that would ruin this entire plan. These tiles here, we know there can't be iron because there's already something else on them, but this one here is a little fishy. I'm hoping the iron will be over here, but it might be over here. 3rd time's the charm. Give me something good. The oh, masonry is great. The masonry boost is really good. I hate building quarries. That's really good. The astrology boost less good, but we'll take what we can get. Aha, we found the settler. We need the settler to be on this side of Munich, though. I'll die if I take it here. It'd be fun if I can kill the horsemen. Oh, but they're gonna take it. That's pretty funny. It's time we went for irrigation. I want to get this cocoa as part of our empire. We're gonna want these bananas going down. We can farm this rice tile right here to get the boost. So I think what we'll do is we will buy a builder in the Jive Hive, and then we'll grab this tile as well. We'll farm this resource for the boost, and we'll start making our way through that. Eventually, too, we'll grab a builder to build farms around the Seowon that's down here as well. There's a lot of really good yields near Brussels where there was a forest fire, so I'm trying to block him from those yields as well. There's no other fresh water for him to settle, so I think we're good on this end. I just want to really block him in and force him to come in this direction if I can. Ooh, we got a free builder with the goodie hut here, so that's perfect. That's what we're talking about. This builder, on the other hand, is going to come down here and start setting everything up. Let's get that boost, which is awesome. You can see I've swapped out of the culture tech as well. We are going to discover a second continent, so we'll wait for that boost there. In the meantime, I'm going to come in for craftsmanship because we're also going to get this boost, and I'm just trying to manage it all so the boosts are doing as much of the work as they can be. The delicate arch is somewhere in this desert, not close enough that we can settle it, but that faith on those tiles would be incredible. Yeah, he's going to settle on this little lake here, so we definitely won. This is a pretty bad settle for him, and crucially, it's just out of our way, so this is wonderful for us. Plantations are going down. This one is going to give us gold and a little bit of housing. Very welcome. This one here is going to give us the cocoa, which is wonderful. We're just messing with him now. He's so afraid to settle with our scouts nearby that he's not even settling anywhere, so we're having a good time. Now we're getting mega gold per turn. Look at that. 14. Hell yeah. That also gave us the craftsmanship boost. Once we get that, we are going to go into... Oh, I really need to come down to the Oracle, but foreign trade isn't done yet. We might have to hard tech that without getting the boost, especially because I'm mucking about with my scouts right now. Our 3rd city is coming in. Now, I have 2 options. I feel pretty good that we're defended down here, but I do kind of want to lock this city in just because it's part of this strategy here. And I'm going to need a good city with high production to pull this strategy off. So we'll come and lock this in. Then we'll worry about our cities here, which we're going to try for some industrial zone shenanigans to really, you know, produce in this empire. Let's put a farm down next to our Seowon and see what happens. Boom! Extra food, baby. Yo, homie, let's calm down. Let's be reasonable. My troops are passing by. In fact, they're here taking out slingers for you, so maybe you should be quiet. Hey, Berlin got settled. Okay. Berlin got settled. We can back off now. He's not a threat anymore. It's a bit expensive, but I want the Jive Hive to have a Seowon as quickly as possible. So we'll come in here and grab this tile because we can chop that out. And then this tile to put the Seowon down. It's a bit expensive, but I think it'll be worth it overall to get some tempo going and get that +4 science. Oh dear, the barbs are really kind of ruining his life a little bit. Stealing builders, that's not fun. First mine next to a Seowon. Boom, +1 extra science. Look at that. Probably our last goodie hub, but let's hope we get something good. 75 gold. That made up the tile purchases back, kind of, sort of, which isn't so bad. Now we have extra coffee in our empire. The extra one isn't doing anything for us, so we will definitely trade it for 3 gold every turn for 30 turns. That's a good little extra bit of gold. And we can settle our 3rd city. This is not my favorite city, nor is it the best city. It would probably have been better to settle a city up here, but we'll work on that in a moment. What we do have in Yangsong, though, is a city we can name after our 3rd kind of new channel member sign up, Wired Nuts. I'm just leaving that the same. That's hilarious. Wired Nuts. Let's do it. Just kidding. We found another goodie hut up here in the tundra because Germany sucks at scouting. Best civ advice I have, take advantage of your opponent's suckiness. Boom. 60 faith. That's useless, but you know, it's okay. We'll take it. We're going to grab the Oracle, but we need another builder first to kind of get that going. Buying a builder is expensive. Building one is also a bit costly. We don't have the card that makes getting builders more quick, though, so we're going to have to make a decision here. I think while we're waiting, I'll go for a trader. I'm going to want a trader. We'll go for the Oracle after the trader. We know we want one of those anyway, so that should be okay. With regard to city-states, being the Sues of any of them would be worth arrow score, but the only one that's going to give us bonuses we want right now is Brussels. So we're going to try and do that. The only problem is putting envoys into Brussels is going to, once we're the Sues anyway, is going to increase their tile usage, and I don't want them to move too far up here because I want some of these tiles for Wired Nuts. I also think we might just take Munich with Huachas later, if you're feeling me. Anyone else getting that vibe? Hey, we got a free builder from a goodie hut. So our trader idea over here is wonderful. We'll send you over here to start chopping out an Oracle after that trader comes in. Yada, yada, yada. German, 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 German. Go away. No one cares. I'm having fun. Gonna go for a library in the Jive Hive. These libraries will give us more science. They will give us more great person points. We are slowly starting now to tick up the great scientist points. We're the only one getting any. The Oracle and Pingala are both going to kind of burst this out of control. We should be earning almost every great scientist this game. We finished our trader in D and C. There are a few options. We know we're building a wonder, so getting the production of the food might be a little bit nice. What I want is a good road somewhere helpful, and right now getting a road, I mean, this road up to Jerusalem would be helpful. There are some barbarians on the way, but we're about to kill those barbarians, so I think, I mean, that's pretty close. That's risking it. I think I might leave it a turn until this dude's dead and then send it up to Jerusalem. We also know we're going to get a trade route, so that boost is going to come through, so we can switch out of there. It means, though, we can go for the Oracle now. Do we have the Wonder card coming in soon? That is in State Workforce, so we're not going to have it yet. That's okay. What we want to do is we want to chop this production. Let's make sure this tile is in the city. It is. We want to chop this production into the city. So by removing these woods, I'll get 36 production. There's nothing in the queue, which is important, so we'll do that. The 36 production is now just floating, and we can use it towards the Oracle. All right. This homie is now super dead, which means we can send our trader to Jerusalem and have a few turns to recover before we have to patrol this area again. So that's awesome. Our first governor is coming in now. Now there's 2 options. If this were a slightly higher difficulty, I think what I might do is go for Magnus to make the chopping more efficient to get the Oracle. However, we're going to do that second to get the Mausoleum. What I want to do now is I want to get Pingala. Pingala's ability is going to give 15% extra science and culture in whichever city Pingala's in. Now, keep in mind, just having the governor there at all will give us the plus 3% from Korea's ability. So having Pingala will just give us a better science and culture boost. So Pingala is going to go into DNC. We will put Magnus next into Wired Nuts, and then we will chop these out for the Mausoleum a little bit later. The amount of production you get from chopping out a quarry or a woods is dependent on the amount of text that you have. And so by waiting a little bit here, maybe we can get archery. Maybe that'll go from 39 production to maybe 41. So we're just going to try and be as efficient as possible with our chops. All the while, I'm going to bring the scout back if he doesn't die and try and stop Germany from settling a city here if I can. I'm going to put the Wonder production card in because we have that available now, and I want to get this Oracle as quickly as possible. We'll also bring the Scout back to heal. It doesn't look like we're going to get a Golden Age, which is a little disappointing. Part of that is because we haven't met a lot of folks on the map yet. But otherwise, we should be able to get one. It's time to get Magnus and Wired Nuts. I could get a Pingala promotion for another 3% in this city, but I do want those Magnus chops, just not for the Oracle. So we'll get that going. That'll add 3% to this city as well, which isn't super useful right now, but we're about to get our Seowon with this builder, so that should be fine. You can see this did go up to 41 production once we got archery, which is awesome, so we can now more efficiently chop out the Oracle. We need 6 era score this turn, 7 era score this turn, and I just don't think it's going to happen. We also don't need a Golden Age in the first round. We don't really have enough faith for a Monumentality Age to make a lot of sense. So I think we'll hold off. We're not going to over push it or anything. We'll get a Golden Age in the next one for sure, with a couple of Wonders coming in, with some higher populations. So we'll work on it, but I think for now we're just going to be fine with a Standard Age. Germany's also in a Standard Age, so no issue there. We are going to go free inquiry, though. We are triggering a lot of Eurekas on purpose. That'll be +1 era score every time, so we can't really be too upset there. I'm going to buy a builder here. I want to chop out this tile. We're going to put our government plaza here. This government plaza will be a little bit useful for a few reasons, but I think this is the best we're going to do. Our government plaza is going to help us build more settlers, and I think I want to do that in the Jive Hive. I'm going to have a little more going on in the capital with these theater scores and whatnot. The Jive Hive is a little more open to accomplish this mission of building more settlers, so I think we'll do that here. All right, it's not strictly the best system I've ever come up with, but I've done some planning. It seems like a city here and a city here are going to give us some crucial aqueduct and dam industrial zone shenanigans. It does kind of suck that the worst industrial zone will be the one in our capital city, but I think the Jive Hive is going to be our production hub by the time this is over anyway. Now, there's not a ton of mines here either to make best use of the Ruhr Valley exactly, which is also a little disappointing, but this Ruhr Valley is not providing us with any specific bonus for a theater square or anything. So with that being said, it might be worth building the Ruhr Valley up in this city because there's tons. This can just be a really big city with loads and loads and loads and loads of mines. So I'll have to play it by ear, but I think this is going to be our setup. Our kind of cultural hub is going to be down here. Our industrial hub is going to be over here, and we're going to get a good mix of everything. We've unlocked our government option. I think, honestly, Classical Republic, when you have Pingala, when you have Oracle, the plus 15% great person points is really, really good. I'm going to put in Autocracy for now, just to get the production towards Wonders, so I can chop out the Oracle a turn or two quicker. But I might switch back into the other government a little later, depending on how things are going. This means I can put Ilkham in, because I'm currently building a builder, so that'll be easier. And Charismatic Leader to start getting some envoys. I'd love to become the Suze of Brussels by the time we put down this mausoleum. One more turn, and then we will be able to chop it out, so we'll wait till next turn. That way, if we miss the Oracle, at least the chop isn't going to waste, so that should be fine. Boom, this should be enough for the Oracle, and it sure is. There we go. So the Oracle is going to give us more great person points from our buildings that generate them, which will be every building in almost every district. And so we're going to want the Oracle to move through the great person points. Now, this is something I build in most of my games. I think the Oracle is one of the best wonders in the game. You should build it anytime you can. What makes it work great for a science victory, though, which is what we're doing today, is our great scientists and our great engineers will help us with our science victory, but the best ones are at the very end. We have to go through all of the great scientists and great engineers to get to them, and the best way to get through all of them is to have as many points as possible, so we're going to want the Oracle to help achieve that. I'm going to circle back and build a library. I want that science. I want that great person point. We now have some choices to make about when we're going to get a governor here for the plus 3%, or whether we're going to kind of double down in DNC for an additional 3%. We're going to have to make those choices soon, though, because right now we're really inefficiently using Magnus. So I just want to find a better way to use them if we're not going to get the mausoleum quickly. We have our first great scientist. This one is going to give us some boosts, which are always welcome. So let's come in here. Let's use this. And we have boosted military engineering. How fun. And mathematics. Even better. Now, the problem we are going to have is that I'm actually going to need to wait until 7 population to build my harbor, because I need to get this theater square down in order to make sure that when iron spawns, it doesn't ruin our plan here. So you can see bronze working is only 1 turn away. I'm doing my best to get there quickly. And we can't even build the mausoleum until we have bronze working. And so I think I need to get the theater square down in 3 turns and then reveal iron. So we are going to use the Magnus chop for the Seowon, but then I'll move Magnus over to the Jive Hive for a better bonus in the meantime. Ancestral Hall is the government plaza building we would like to go towards. It'll give us plus 50% increased production towards settlers, which is what we're after. I am going to choose to double down on Pingala until we get to grants. So I'm going to go culture per turn for every citizen. That will add plus 3% from our ability as Korea as well. And then once we have grants, it'll synergize with Oracle really well to maximize our great person. Let's get this Magnus chop in with the builder, which is great. 67 production is really good. It's going to be 1 turn for that Seowon. And now we can move Magnus over to the Jive Hive for a better 3% science boost. The theater squares are now in. We can buy this tile. We can pre-place our theater square. Now, this is really important. If we pre-place our districts, it will lock in the production cost. So this is going to cost 122. If I lock this in here, the cost is 122. I can still come back and get the library first and build this later. Once it's locked in on the ground, though, it reserves that tile. I can now spawn iron. It's not going to go away. And I've locked in the 122 cost, so that way if it gets more expensive later, it won't apply to this one. Next up, we're heading straight for recorded history. This natural philosophy will give me an additional +4 for every Seowon we have on the map, which right now is 3, so that'll be plus 12 science per turn, which is almost 30% increase, which is something we are interested in. You can see on this map as well, we are already beating Ludwig by quite a bit in science. And we also have more culture, mostly as a function of our 3% we're getting from our governors. 6% if you're Pingala. Let's reveal iron and see if I was right. If I wasn't right, and this tile does not have iron on it, this was a complete waste of time. I would have gone for the harbor first for the mausoleum. But we're going to have to find out just now. Yeah, see, it grew even before we were the Sioux. That's not what I wanted. That was really dumb. That was really, really dumb. Okay, well, just to stop that, because I know I'm going to need the Sioux, so I'm going to start buying these tiles up. That was unfortunate, really. All right, we've revealed iron. Let's search for iron on the map. I don't think we're collecting any, so I think it was a slight misplay. It did show up next to wired nuts. Not on this tile at all. Ay caramba. It didn't ruin any of our other plans though either, so that's all good. Okay, well that is what it is. Not ideal. Next up, we're going lumber mills. There's a few woods in this empire we're going to need to get lumber milled to give the Jive Hive some production. For now, though, we'll go get this iron. He also seems like he kind of wants to go to war. I'm standing on the tile. There's only one tile he can kind of settle here. That's good. So I'm trying to stand on this tile so he doesn't get the wrong idea and come and try and settle us. All right, he was having some troops out in this direction, so I was trying to make sure he doesn't settle out here. This is a Pangaea map, though, and it seems like there's some other city-states and other people we want to meet, so I'm going to start moving out to the other side of this Pangaea. It must connect at the top or in the middle somewhere, because it doesn't connect at the bottom. Plus 12% extra science per turn is so good early on. I'm so glad we have it. Otherwise, we'll still go for production and envoys. We're not really fighting barbs this minute, but nothing else seems to do it for me, so we'll keep this on just in case. Pingala is going down to grants. I'm going to leave a little bit of science on the table to maximize our great scientist points. So let's see how many we have this turn, and we'll see how many we get next turn. This turn we earned 7 great scientist points, which is better than the next person at 1. So we'll see what we get next turn with the grants promotion added to the Oracle. What's key is that Pingala and Oracle are in the same city, though, for their abilities to synergize. We got 11, so that added 4 great person points per turn just for that. It'll be even more once we get a university, etc., etc. So we're going to get 3 more boosts, which is a 40% of a whole tech. So you can see how this is snowballing. We're at 43, he's at 7, and like not only do we have more science per turn to go through these, we are getting more of those boosts, which is incredible. Apprenticeship, military tactics, and shipbuilding, 2 of those are great boosts, so that's wonderful. Now we've got an iron mine that'll boost the wheel and iron working. Now I wonder if he has iron, because if he doesn't have iron, he doesn't. I'm gonna want to trade him that iron for money, because iron sells for a high price and I'm not gonna use it. Brussels is going to give us 11.5 gold because it goes on the water, but there's units on the water, and I don't want to mess with those units. So that's where we're going to send this trader up, but I need to be able to afford a galley first. He's going to give me 6 gold every turn for 30 turns for that extra coffee that we have. How much is a galley? Because I want that trade route, but I'm gonna have to defend it. 260. All right. Yeah, he'll already give me 14 gold for 2 iron. So we're gonna hold off on that trade route for just a second here. He's giving me 29 gold for 4 iron. What a goober. What a goober head. All right, galley in. Now we can defend. We're the first people on the ocean at all. So that's a good amount of era score. But it's also going to defend this trade route, which is going to give us 11.5 gold every turn. So that'll pay itself off really quickly. Good decision, VV. Oh, he's coming. He's coming. Watch out. He's on his way. I can't actually stop him. I'm just hoping he'll get spooked. He's not getting spooked.
Bread is the first.
Where? I mean, yeah, he's going to have to declare war if he wants this. If he declares war, I'm just going to go kill him. It'll take me a minute, but I'll figure it out. I suppose making him declare war on us is dumb, but we'll find out. Where is he going?
Creates with the heart.
He can't settle anywhere else. So if he goes here, if he settles here, but now that's the thing is, do I want to stab? Because I will eventually have this city. Like, this is a city we're going to take with Watchas later. Do I want to make him settle a bad city if we know we're going to take it later? All right, Genghis Khan's on this map. It's a shame we don't have horses because he'd buy those for a lot. You want 4 iron, though? Nah, not as much as Ludwig did. Yeah, he backed off. He's scared of our scout. That's so funny. What a play. What a play by VB. Big brain. Libraries. Every library we build, which will be at least 7 or 8, will give us +1 science, and it instantly builds a library in this district. This is awesome because I'm like halfway through a library here. Get rid of that. We can build something else more helpful. We're going to want archers to upgrade into Hwachas. That'll be the best way to get them. So let's go for an archer here. That also gives me something else to do with my policy cards because I can now go for a Gog. So let's teleport this homie. And then we'll go here next turn. The Great Library is an interesting wonder and one I am interested in getting. The amphitheater is pretty good, but I usually buy my amphitheaters, although the Great Writer points would be great. I think we'll go for a builder here. There's lots to build. There's lots to chop, so I think we might go for a Great Library. We'll see. There we go. Bad Trio also in the game. We have to prepare 2 for another Golden Age. We're at least 20 turns away, and we're already at the Golden Age status, or close to, which means we'll be able to spend this faith we're receiving on settlers and builders and whatnot. Yeah, he's going to stop finding this funny. I thought that might happen. All right, homie. So he's going to settle that city, which is fine because we're going to take it eventually. We can now get the mausoleum as well. We just got to sneak that harbor in. All right, this gives us something else to do, though, because we're not fighting barbs. We are kind of fighting barbs. Let's do this. Let's go a Gog. More production there is fine. Yeah, and then we just murder him. Now, our warrior here can upgrade pretty soon to a man-at-arms, which will actually just kill him. So we're bringing you to the Jive Hive. We'll upgrade you to a man-at-arms, and then we're just going to go kill him. We are going to get this boost. That's fine. I'll circle all the way, and I'll go all in. I want Researcher. So that'll be plus 12% science in culture out of DNC, which is great. That's a free library here, so that's wonderful. I mean, we have war declared on us, but everything's going okay otherwise. Yeah, this was possibly a bit silly. We are going to go for more settlers, though. I want all these cities to be up and running. Now we have Magnus here. We're going to eventually have to move Magnus back to chop out the mausoleum, but we're not quite at that point yet. So I think what we can do is go into provision, which will allow us to build those settlers without losing population. In the Jive Hive, when you don't have a lot of production, that's very helpful. So we'll do that. Nobody else has any iron they are willing to trade either. So, oh, no, she's not willing to trade it, though. So we're at the mercy of waiting for this 20 iron for this man-at-arms. But once we have it, we're just going to kill all his units. All right, yeah, this archer's going to be... We're going to be totally fine. I feel pretty confident. Let's go universities. Those will be helpful for us. We have 60 science, so we're inevitably going to hit some units that are good for us pretty soon. Another great scientist is going to trigger some boosts for us, which is awesome. So we'll do that. Bazinga engineering, wonderful stuff. Get another archer going. We are going to need to defend ourselves. We're playing it a bit silly here, but we're going to get some promotions on these units, so I'm happy. Ooh, Taruga's in the game, so that's a scientific city-state. That's good. Yeah, he's still being dumb, though, because now Brussels is on his case, which is awesome. We're the Suze of Brussels. Yeah, and then we can just get these archers. Now, I actually want you to be in the city, though, because if you're in the city and we can get the garrison promotion, you'll do extra damage. I'm pretty committed to this great library if we can grab it. I think it's fun for us, especially in a city where we're getting great person point boosts, so that'll be fine. All right, we have enough to upgrade you to a man-at-arms. We just got to wait one more turn. That's fine. No one wants my Diplo favor yet, though. Big sad. Okay, so why can't you upgrade? Is it because I don't? Oh my god, it's because I don't have the swordsman to go in between. That's pretty funny. I didn't know that was a thing. We're learning something new. I didn't know you actually had to have the middle unit as well. I thought you could just go for the upgrade. That's my bad. All good, though. We got a bunch of archers on the scene now. Yeah, he's about to feel really silly when we get a man-at-arms, baby. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's going to feel dumb. Yeah, he's hoops now. Let's unlock Niter just to mess with him a little bit. All right, we don't need any more units. Oh, he's going to pillage this campus. I'll kill him. I'll kill him dead. I'm going to put down our theater square, actually. Let's do that. Hey, Babylon's in this game now. You're going to have some science that I enjoy. He's only got 8, which means not a lot, but he's going to be... Oh, we're going through it. He's been going through the texts quickly because he just gets them for free if he boosts them. He didn't even pillage the campus because he's a dork. He's a dorcas. He's a dorcas who's very silly. We got our first great writer. Now, we have no great writer slots except for the one in the palace, so we'll have to use that for now. But it does add some pressure to get this amphitheater more quickly. All right, so Man-at-Arms is moving up because you're just going to ruin all these units. Oh, yeah, and then these homies. You're going for the promotions, baby. Babylon wants to be friends. Let's get a little friendship going with Mr. Science Guy. He fits our... Oh, darn. Help me. No, that's a promoted galley. I didn't want that. Backing up. Whoop, getting out of there. Oh, dude, you're super dead. What are you doing? I'd rather the archers have promotions, if I'm being honest. So we'll go there. Yeah, that'll be the garrison promotion for you. Man-at-Arms is going to go. And we know for a fact, because he only has 17 science, he's nowhere close to Man-at-Arms. Like, he's not even approaching Man-at-Arms like we are, because we rock, and he stinks. He also hasn't even settled the city he was going to war to settle. So he's also dumb for that. Oh, yeah, this guy's got, like, negative brain cells. Like, we're mowing him down now. He's got 57 combat strength. Let's go take a city. This is what you get. This is what you get. Can I get crossbows? It'll take a minute for crossbows. Let's unlock Niter first. And then we're going for crossbows. Definitely a double settler here. That's what we're doing. We gotta get our cities up and running as soon as possible. All right, Niter didn't ruin any of our plans. Did Niter spawn anywhere where we're getting it, though? No Niter near us. That's slightly... Oh, in Munich, but Munich has walls now. All right, smarty pants. He settled Cologne. All right, well, let's heal here. We're going to wait. Oh, we got Niter and Wired Nuts. Never mind, we're all good. We're going to wait a second. I'm going to get a builder. I want that Niter. I also want feudalism for that builder too, but that doesn't seem like it's going to happen. All right, we are able to build 6 farms. I'm going to hard tech feudalism, though, so that if I get a builder with gold, I'm at least getting a 5 charge builder. It'll also be helpful for this city we're going to settle, because then it'll start with a 5 charge builder as well. I don't want you on a floodplain, though, so we'll wait here until we can settle that city there with a 5 charge builder. It's going to get a free builder for settling. In the meantime, we'll choose Taruga, which is awesome, so we'll do that. That'll give us that boost, which is great. There's still a goody hut over here. What is everyone doing? They're cray-cray. All right, our homie is going to give us an obscene amount of gold for 18 iron, so we're going to accept that. We don't need iron for crossbows, so we'll be fine without it. Feudalism unlocked, which means we can put in feudal contract is fine. Is that what I want? So, well, no, I want equestrian orders to get that iron. What I want, though, is serfdom. Serfdom is going to give us 2 extra build charges for getting a builder, which means, am I at war with Taruga now? No, okay, so I can still get this goody hut. And it's more experience. That's not nice. Anyways, let's buy a builder. Boom. That's going to have 5 builds now instead of 3, which is awesome. Now when I settle the city and it gets its free builder, huzzah, it is also going to have 5 builds instead of 3. So it was worth waiting a turn or two to make sure that was all good to go. This great scientist acts like a medic if it's nearby your unit. So we're actually going to grab this homie and not even use him for anything other than being a medic for these units. I'm going to upgrade them all into crossbows and then just go and murder Munich. I bet you he's going to have some regrets. This aqueduct is important. It makes all these industrial zones better, so we'll get you down right away. I can upgrade to a crossbow, but it costs $250 because inflation is crazy around these parts. So we are going to have to wait a minute for that to come in. But once we get it, boy howdy, will we be having a great time. And there is the great library, everybody. A little bit of science. The boosts are going to be fine, but we got most of the booster text anyway because we're just really far ahead. But I think it gives us a great writer slot as well. And that great writer slot is going to be incredible because I got 2 great writers with nothing to do.
I cannot imagine.
Does it give me a great writer slot? Oh, it sure does. Hooray. The Ramayana. How fun. That also puts us at turn 102, which is where I'd like to end this video. This covered the early game. Let's recap what I want you to know about the early game. In the early game, we are focused as Korea on settling a couple of good cities, which we've done, right? You always want 3 or 4 cities down. All right, we've got our good Seowons up and running. We are running way ahead in science, 69, nice. We got a couple of key great scientists. We got a couple of key wonders. What we've done is we've built the skeleton, the framework of our victory condition, right? What we need to do now is economize. We need to finish settling our cities. There'll probably be more than these 2, probably 8 or 9 or 10 cities. We need to try and, kill Germany if we're going to do that. Right, but for right now, what we've done is we built the skeleton. Everything you want for your victory condition, you want to be able to get it in your first 3 or 4 cities, just in case something goes crazy wrong. What's great about the science victory is that you can do it entirely internally. You do not need to rely on the AI. So we know in these cities we're going to have some spaceport options available, which is great. We're going to have our industrial zones down, which is great. We made sure that our theater square zone wasn't impacted by the iron, so that's going to get going, which is great. Everything we need for our victory condition is done and set up. And then everything we're doing in these cities is going to be to complement that, to add to it. So that'll be the plan. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I had so much fun playing the first 102 turns of this game. In the next video, we will cover the mid game. If we go really quickly, we'll cover the mid and late game. We will also cover thoroughly destroying Germany and stealing these cities instead of maybe settling our own. So we'll see how that goes. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you all so much. We'll see you in the next one.